And
Put up.
Good evening, our friends on Facebook and on YouTube. My name is Anu Ojo, and I'm welcoming you all to this session. This is day 3 of the History Makers Training, February 2019. It's always a pleasure to be with you, and I would like to encourage you to please go ahead and share. So our Facebook viewers, you could share this video on your timeline by clicking on the share icon, or you could suggest this video to your friends by sending it to their inboxes, or you could send this video to groups you belong to. You're very much welcome. Also, our YouTube viewers, please, as you join us, you could share this link on your social media platforms. Welcome once again. This is the History Makers Training, February 2019, and the theme is how to plan, structure, and achieve your life goals for the next 25 years. How to plan, structure, and achieve your life goals for the next 25 years. So that's what we've been talking about for the past 3 days, and today we are having another session, and I want to hope that you are ready to receive, to learn, and to transform your life. I would like to announce some books that are relevant to today's topic, and the first book I would like to announce is the title What Miracles Will Not Do For You. I repeat, What Miracles Will Not Do For You. And it has a subtitle here that says, How to Become the One Who Creates Miracles Instead of the One Who Seeks It. How to be the one who creates miracles and not the one who seeks it. So the title of the book is What Miracles Will Not Do For You. The second one I would like to announce is 7 tips to 7 tips to self-fulfillment in life. 7 tips to self-fulfillment in life. This is another book that is relevant to the topic for this session. So for you to get these books, you could order for them on Amazon, or you could subscribe to Amazon Kindle Unlimited. And by doing that, you have free access to all of, or most of Dr. Sunday's books. Just as the Kindle version. And if you like to order
both Kindle version and paperback on Amazon, yeah.
All right. Okay, so
but if they want it cheaper, then they could write here.
But if you want it cheaper, you could write to us at dsasbooks@gmail.com. I repeat, dsasbooks@gmail.com. So write to us and we will get back to you. And also, yesterday I announced, and I'm repeating the announcement, that for the HMT, we have the HMT book promo that lasts until the 15th of February. So all of Dr. Sunday Adelaja's books are on promo from now to the 15th of this month. And I would like to encourage you to please catch on these discounted prices by writing to our office at dsasbooks@gmail.com. So please write to us at dsasbooks@gmail.com for you to get discounted prices for all of Dr. Sunday's books. And I'm talking about getting these books, not the Kindle version, but the paperback. So the paperback, and it's going to be way cheaper than what you get on Amazon. So I repeat that the offer, it lasts till the 15th of February. It lasts till the 15th of February. So please do well to write to us at dsasbooks@gmail.com to get these books at a discounted price. So I want to believe that you've shared this video. Today we'll be having a topic, how to organize your life around your goals. I was just taking my time and my clock throughout the whole day, expecting to attend this session, because I know that it's going to be worth listening to and it's going to be life-changing. And I want you not to just watch this video alone, but do well to please share so that other people can benefit from what we discussed today. Thank you so much for being with us. And very soon, Dr. Sunday would be speaking to you and you're going to be seeing his face. All right, thank you so much. And I offer to you all Dr. Sunday Adelaja for the next lesson.
Yeah, but were you trying to flatter people?
No, I wasn't flattering. I was being sincere.
No, that you have been waiting the whole day and looking at your clock, at your watch?
I had a conversation with Pastor Ernest earlier today.
He said he can't wait to.
Maybe he should say
he can't wait to attend this session. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Then you've got to justify your anticipation.
Oh yeah. Okay, so when I saw the topic, how to organize your life around your goals, the first word that jumped out to me was the word organize, and it brought the concept of order into my life. I experienced solitude. My first experience of solitude was like 2 months ago, and what I did in that solitude, with the level of organization that I was able to work with, focus, discipline, I was able to achieve in 1 week. That is just with products what I would have ordinarily achieved in 3 to 4 months. But when I came out of solitude, the reality was different for me. And I remember telling you that, Dr. Sunday, I came out of solitude and it's like, what's happening to me? Distraction everywhere. Everywhere is distracted. So how do I organize my time, my life? And I told you that I had to go back to your series when you were teaching about how to create boundaries for your life in such a way that you are just focused on your goals, everything you're doing. And yeah, I listened to the video. It helped me to achieve some things. So the next month I went for solitude and I came back, and what I learned the last time, I applied it and I got some results. But when I saw this, I was like, this is going to help me a big time, because I intend to go on solitude every month, and I want to keep that momentum to just live an organized life where every day I'm not losing focus, I'm not distracted, I'm hitting my goals on a daily basis, and everything I'm doing is organized in such a way that I touch my goal every day and I achieve what I want to achieve every day. So I saw the title today and I'm like, I just want to get to this place, and I shared it with him. Thank God he was in the room, and so I was like, today's going to be fantastic, going to be tough, and it's going to be, I'm just looking forward.
So you sensed it that today was going to be the beginning?
Yeah, I sensed it. Yeah, and he also came to the room
and said the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to say that maybe this is a little bit different from what you just described, because what you just described is you are talking about organization in order in everyday life, but this is totally going to be different. This is going to be a different topic. So this is going to be a bit different, and what is going to be different here is that here I'm talking about planning, or planning, structuring, and organizing your life. I'm talking about life, not the things you do every day. Even though we are going to touch about that, and what we are going to touch about now is going to also help you to be able to put that in perspective. But I'm not going to go into that particular details this time. But I will still do a little bit of it. But it's going to be a global thing we're doing this time. But it's going to also, of course, help you to be more organized in relations to, so that you'll be able to learn organization and be able to put things in order. But this time it's about life. It's a bigger picture.
Look forward.
You still look forward?
Let's get started.
Huh?
Let's started.
You still want this one too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here we go. First of all, I want you to show the second book about miracles that Dr. Anu spoke about. Are you the one reading today? You know? You passed the...
No, I didn't.
You know, yeah? Okay. You didn't have agreement. Can we have you sit like that? Change a little bit because they're having color clash. Yeah, now it's better for me. You thought as much, eh? Okay. So Look at that book. It says, not that it was the group name, it says, what miracles will not do for you? What miracles will not do for you? Well, when I was growing up in Africa, let me tell you the truth right now. If you would tell me that there's something miracles will not do for you, I would just say, let me come and be going. That you are either an unbeliever, an atheist, or you just don't know God. This God, this miracle is a miracle working God. Is a miracle work. So miracle, it means God can do everything. And miracle, God, believing in miracle and the God of miracle is that he can do everything, including putting your life in order. He will do it. Only maybe you have not prayed enough, or you have not sought his face. By the time he answers your prayer, he will set you. He will set you up. He will arrange your life. He will help you plan. He will help you structure your life. He will help you organize your life, and he will help you achieve your goals because he's a miracle working God. Preach it. These are the kind of preaching. These are the kind of preaching they like in Africa. Spiritual. Very spiritual. How can you say God cannot do anything? Is there anything God cannot do? Is there anything God cannot do? Please, please. You don't know this God, though. So that's why I wrote that book. You better go and get that book. That there are some things miracles will not do for you. And one of those things that miracle will not do for you is that miracle will not structure your life for you. Miracle will not plan your life for you. And miracles cannot achieve your life goals for you. So there are a lot of things that miracles will not do for you. So, and one of those things that miracles cannot do for you is the whole essence of our HMT this time. But I come from a continent and from a country where people will rather go and pray for miracles, look for miracles, fast for miracles, than coming to a seminar like this to study and learn skills on how to get some things done. But I learned it in a hard way. I had started our church, our ministry here in the Ukraine, and I knew the importance of preparation, so I prepared, read books and things. But when we started the church, I realized that we were doing well. First of all, we had 7 people, and it was a big struggle for me to go from 7 Europeans from 7 to 20 was a big problem. Then we, one way or the other, we were able to break through from 7 to 20, but to go from that 20 to 50 was another big problem. Then we were able to break through. Then we went from 20 to 100. Then that was when crisis started. Then I realized very fast that if you want to build a big organization or a growing organization, that the tools that I had, the skills that I had were not enough. And what were my tools and skills? My tools were prayer, fasting, reading the Bible, preaching, and getting Rema. I was always looking for those Remas. So that somebody would say, I never had that before. But it never grew my church, especially with the Europeans. They don't even know that something was also here before. So then we are just talking. So, and the miracles would not cause the church. Even miracles was not going to bring people. My first disillusionment was that I was praying for 6 months, fasted. I fasted for 6 months. This was not no food fasting, but I was eating only in the evening for 6 months. From 6 o'clock, I could eat for 6 months. And why I was praying and fasting like this was so that God would bring people. Then 7 people showed up. I almost committed suicide. Because it was very annoying. I was ready to do miracles, but nobody to perform miracles upon me. I couldn't do miracles on the shares. But they were all empty. I didn't even realize that even to get crowds together takes planning and organization. My God. But when I go on news, when I get news reports, Christian news report, I see that Reinhard Bonnke at that same time was gathering like 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 in Africa. A human being like me. So what kind of prayer was he praying? Oh. Yeah, and if I had only fasted 6 months, does it mean that, but he was doing these crusades every month. So there is no way. What kind of fast was he praying? Was he fasting? Because those were the tools I had. Only fasting and praying to get everything done. I didn't know. Later on, I got to know Reinhard Bonnke, and I became a friend of his, and I got to know the mechanisms and the system that they were using. It's all organization. Planning, structure, organization, and order. But coming from where I came from, if you could pray and fast and believe God to show up. Because where I was coming from, if you could just have a miracle, big one, the whole village will come and gather together. The vultures will gather. If you could have a miracle, even one person got healed, it will bring his whole family members. But here, I was not even seeing that nobody seems to have any need for miracles. And when you tell them it has happened, the miracle has happened, they say, okay, let me check. Let me find out. They are not even sure themselves. Are you what is you got healed? I say, well, I thought I was better yesterday. But today, your bloated or floated ego is blated very fast. So it was not working. That was the first time I started encountering the reality of the fact that this life demands more than spiritual realities. That to just explain everything by spirituality and putting God, on spot in all things, because I've done my part spiritually, prayed, spiritually I've done everything I needed to do. But why was God not showing up? I didn't realize that there are some things that God will not show up. He doesn't need to come and show up. You need to show up. And not just you, I was there, but I was not showing up. My mind was not showing up. My mind didn't have the skills that I needed to gather people together, to be effective, to touch people, to be able to attain the goals that I wanted to. So when it comes to attaining goals in life, you will discover that you need more than spirituality. And what those same pastors that I was copying were not telling us, because all those guys that have those big churches in Africa, they have a good measure of structure, organization, planning in place in their ministries. That's why you will discover that most of the people who have the big ministries in Nigeria, for example, and most of the African countries, they are always educated, well educated. So they understand these things, but they just use them, apply them for themselves, But you young guys that's coming, you think that it's because what they float is their spirituality. And you think it is that spirituality that is actually behind everything they were doing. They will tell you about the handkerchief, they will tell you about the oil, they will tell you about the tree or the stick they are holding. They will tell you about the agbada they have to cut, the flowing gown they have to cut and soak in the oil and all kind of mysterious stuff, but never about the practical things. So, but I didn't know that at that point. Because anyone you see that has a big ministry or a big church in Africa is either Kumuyi, is a professor of mathematics, he could do the calculations. Or Adeboye is a professor of mathematics, they could do the calculations. Those are structures, organizations, management. You know, or Mountain of Fire guy, what do you call him? Olukoya? Olukoya is a doctorate degree holder, he's a professor somewhere. Then you have Oyedepo is an architect, he's a science student, he's a builder, he could construct, he could put equations together. So all these people are people who are well developed in that sense. So, and I didn't know that. We were always thinking of supernatural things. But my first question started at that point. You see, I had lived in Europe for several years at this point, and I had made some progress. I was the best student in my university, studying with Europeans, and still, until I got to do things by myself, I was actually working at the television station. I was a, I was a star, a TV star, but I really began to build by myself in Europe here. I didn't know that I lacked skills like this. You know, you could be deceived because you are smart in education, thinking that you are prepared for life. And then you are going to be operational in real life, and that things are going to work for you. It doesn't follow. Well, I learned that lesson very fast. Not a pretty experience. Mm-hmm. You go fast for 6 months and get several people and tell me if it's pretty. Mm-hmm. 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 Not a pretty experience. So that was when I already started doubting some things. And I already think I lacked something, though, but I didn't know what I even lacked. Do you remember, do you know that even at that point, when I was struggling with all this from 7 to 20, from 20 to 50, I still didn't know what organization I needed. I was still thinking, maybe I will find some kind of prayer somewhere. You know, in Nigeria, the same kind of situation. You see people who lack just life skills and knowledge and wisdom to really navigate their ways in real life experience. And they will be thinking, if I could just get the right kind of prayer, or I could do the right kind of fasting program. So what most Nigerians will end up doing is that somebody will end up recommending for them one of MFM guy, Olukoya's books. They will say, you don't have that, all kind of prayer. You will say, thank you, my sister. My brother, thank you. You mean all these prayers at this place? Thank you. You mean all these, all kind of demons are there that you can cast out? So, because you think from where you are coming from your mindset and worldview, you are thinking it's just another kind of spirituality you need, or another kind. So that's how you find even genuine Christians who are really born again, who had experience with God before. But when life situations confront them and they don't have ready answers in their environment, they begin to look for more mystical way out, and they even fall and get to be members of that kind of church. Even though originally, without any situation in their lives, they would have known better that that kind of church is not a church. That is a satanic center, that MFM. It's not a church of the Lord Jesus Christ. It's just like synagogue. They are the same. That man, Olukoya, is a promoter of Satan, just like Joshua is. But many people will not know because they were already saved and they're going there, so they're thinking because they are praying and they're talking about demons and problems, so they think it will help them resolve their problem. But there are just other skills they needed, you see. So in my own situation, I didn't even realize that it is anything I had anything to do with management, structure. So I was not even looking there. I was not even looking to resolve. I didn't even know there was a case, there was an issue. I kept on suffering, doing the same kind of thing I was doing. And somebody has said that it is madness, or insanity that makes you to keep on doing the same thing, but you still want another result. So, I kept on struggling until we had 100. You see, because of charisma, I am a person that is very personal, one-on-one with people. I pay attention to people. I honor people. I love people. I sacrifice for people. So all that is good enough to be able to gather at least 100 people around you. But if you want to begin to build an organization that will have more than 100 people, you alone and your charisma will not be good enough. You now need structure. You now need planning. You now need organization and management, kind of. So I will not tell you the whole story of how I got to later discover, just by accident. I got to discover that, because somebody wrote in a book that it was a pastor in America, and he wrote that spirituality, anointing is 50%. And for success in ministry, anointing is 50% and organization is under 50%. So that's when I was, what do you mean by organization? I know the word, but when it comes to ministry, work organization, is it not God that's supposed to? Is it not miracle? So I started looking for, because I also began to notice, because I started having members around me, but we were all white. I started discovering that they were good in foresight, in anticipating things that will happen and getting things in order before. Because, for example, when I want to travel, I'll go and buy my ticket next week. But they could have thought about that 3 months before. So those are the kind of culture, different culture that I was getting introduced to. I didn't know. So I started noticing that is also organization. Going to different examples like that. That is foresight, structure, organization, and things. And I started noticing that, no, I need this one. So with the books I was reading that told me that organization, and then with people I was seeing around me, they were not as spiritual, but they were getting better results. Just because they were thinking ahead of time, and they were putting things in place. So it took me a whole lot of suffering, and because each time I get stuck like that, you know what I used to do? When the church gets stuck like at 20 or 50, I'll go and pray and fast again. So at the bottom line is that I made a decision later on in my life when I discovered all this, but my own lessons were very intense and very accelerated. So all this were happening within a year. So by the time I got it, in 1 year we were already having 1,200. Yeah, but I was determined that this organization, structure, management, which I admit is a weak point, not just for me, but for all people coming from my background. It's not something we are familiar with, or we are taught. We are not living in that environment. We are not, for the European, for example, they have some amount of it automatically just because they are living in an organized environment. But where I was coming from, It's even a different concept. The only thing I saw my mother organize was just ironing clothes and putting them all in order. We didn't even say it as organization. So I was determined for myself that I will make structure, management, organization, planning my strength, my strongest point. Because of the pain I had gone through and because of the suffering that I had to go through to learn this, I said I will make it my strongest point. So I started buying books and on management, on administration, business books, and from corporate managers and CEOs and all those books that they're selling just to do self-education. But I was struggling because they were always talking about technical stuff, things about companies and things, but I will still manage to get something or the other. So I started really working on myself, thinking and really making things work for me. And until I started, maybe this took place. I kept on working with my experience. I learning from people, asking people. I got an administrator. Just employed in my team and all kind of things. So I was learning all the time. So by the time I did this for 3 to 5 years, I just discovered that something started opening up in me. But I cannot tell you that in all the books I read, that I was able to see a compacted information, put together in an understandable way, like what you are going to have this week. And even me, I've not written a book on it yet. So I have one on systems, on building systems, but it's in Russian language. So I have to get that into English. But so these kind of things, I think I might need to end up writing a few more books, because that might be an area where, at least from somebody who is coming from nowhere, and I have an experience to share that I could share with you. So so welcome. And so the topic of today is how to organize your life around your goals. And I will need you to be alert. Please, we need water to be around. If you feel like you are getting weak, go drink some water. And we need to put some candies in place. We need to put chocolate, candies, everything in place as early as possible. You need to be alive. I will really need you to be alive. Or coffee. Coffee is a good one too. We need coffee to be around too, so that, you people could be, because this would demand your 100% alertness. Okay. The topic of today is how to organize your life around your goals. How to organize your life around your goals. Well, that is not as simple. That topic you are saying there is not as simple and as simple as you think. Most people don't view life as objects that could be organized. For most people, life is in the mysterious. And for most people, life is illusional. For most people, life is not tangible. So in most people's minds, you can only arrange and organize tangible things. So if I go to the room, I see things that are not in the right places, I can organize them. That is a faster thing to understand for most people than something invisible like life. So how do you organize something that is non-tangible? It's much easier to organize something that is physically visible. But when you come to something that is invisible, like life, then you really need some skills here. And you need a lot of help right here. And coffee too, right? They will bring coffee as well? Okay, coffee is available, right? Okay. So The reason I'm talking about all this coffee and chocolates and things is because you don't need to think too much, but you need to be alert. Okay, so how to organize your life. And if you are watching this program, please, will you go and share it with your friends and family members and invite your friends, as many people as possible, to come join? It might be a life-changing experience for them. So how to organize your life around your goals. Okay, so we are talking of life, your life, and we are talking about it to being organized. So for you to be able to organize it, number one, you have to see it as something tangible, or you have to bring your life down from the realm of the invisible realm, to the realm of visibility. You've got to be able to picture your life. That's through picturing. I spoke about picturing the last HMT, not going to do much of that, but you must be able to picture your life. Then after picturing your life, so for something to be arranged or organized, that thing must have particles or objects, different kind, more than one entity. It must have some areas and some divisions of it. So you must see that your life is not just one entity or one piece of life, but it's something that is much more complex than that. And that's why your life is complex. And that's why it needs organization and arrangement. So we're going to break all that down, and it's going to be, I'm not being too technical. The way Peace is looking at me, as if I put you in the classroom. Eh? Okay. Because you are looking at me as if I became a professor like that in the university. All right, so let's go now. So how to organize your life around your goals. So there are three things: your life, organization of it, and around something. So organizing your life around your goals, in this title alone, for people who are deep, you are already having keys. And you are already having answers. But for you to see those answers and keys, you've got to be able to think. Deep thinking. First of all, the key that is in this place, that is in this title, is that the most important thing for you is not organization. There is something else that is more important than the organization of your life. And that thing is, organization makes sense only when it's done around your known goals. That's why I wrote that book, A Visionless Life is a meaningless life. And when Dr. Clement was talking, he also said about time, talking about time, that for you to be able to plan your life, you must be able to have with the goal towards which you are planning it. So even if you are not, and I've thought about this when I was preparing for this, that some of you might be here who don't know their goals yet, or their life goals yet. But don't worry about it, because I'm going to help you enough. Maybe you might not be able to know exactly what you're going to do, but at least you are going to have an idea, and it's going to help you to be able to organize your life anyway. So later on, when you want to be more concrete and more specific about your life goal, you'll be able to go and do it, as we said the other time, getting the book, Who Am I, and the series I taught, on the video, and go to Solitude, yes. But right now, if you read books on motivational speakers books, on vision and on organization, they always talk about planning, time planning. They always talk about time planning. But that is the problem. That is the missing link. If you read books of that Anthony Robbins and other people like that, most of them talk about planning. But they always talk about time planning. And that is the problem. And that's what's going to be different from what we're going to be teaching today. And that's why this topic already gives you a key. You don't just plan your life. And that's very similar to what Dr. Anu wanted to talk about. Oh, I want to plan my solitude and things like that. That's time planning. But this planning that we're talking about here is about planning your life. But normally when they tell you about planning your life is that, oh, okay, how to best use time. Okay, you are working this time, this one is this, remove this from this, put this more time here, use more time. But they don't always emphasize the fact that there is a goal and a purpose that God created you for, that you need to discover, and that all other planning and organization need to be around that purpose for which God created you. So you are not the you are not the centerpiece. What do you call that? You are not the focal point. You are not the focal point. The focal point now becomes, but what they do is that they make you the focal point, and you are the decider. And you just use time to just make you to be more effective. But you might be effective not doing what God created you to do. So the focal point is for you to make yourself secondary to something. And that thing that you are secondary to is that life purpose for which God created you. That is more important than you. And your life is therefore just a substance, an object, material, raw material, that must be planned around facilitating and fulfillment of the centerpiece, of the focal point, which is the thing that you were created for. You were created for that thing. But when you are the boss, when you are the focal point, you decide. So even your goal, what you want to do, you could shift from here, from there to here. You can change, you can. That is a major difference between what motivational speakers talk about, time planning, and what we are talking about now. The preeminence here comes as what comes to be preeminent here is your life goals and purpose. So let's now look, with this information you got now, let's now look at this topic again. Can you see from that title that the focal point is the goals? But it's not just goals, because when you are purpose. Because when you talk about goals, you are thinking just the goals you put in your, but we are talking about life goals, which is purpose, or life missions. So it is the life mission that is the central piece, that is the focal point. But most people, most of us, and any other person who will see this title, even that, and that's one of the reasons I've not written a book on it, because they will misunderstand. They will not see what I'm saying. So if I say how to organize your life around your goals, and that's my book, people will think they know what I'm talking about. They will think, oh, it's time management. But they will not see all the pieces and the details of what I'm telling you right now. But now you can see it. The primary thing here is life goals. Your life is secondary. An organization and organizing your life is the tool you need, the skill. So those three different things, distinctive things, pay attention to them. Your life goals, the mission, your purpose, is the central piece. That's the primary thing there. The secondary thing is your life, and it's just, servicing that goal. But the tool, the skill that you need to help you organize your life around the most important thing is the organization, the skills, the organization, the ability to organize. Okay, so we are just understanding the title right there. But before I go into the teaching, I want somebody to say this thing I just explained to you in your own word, in anybody's own word, what you got from this title alone. Because I wasted 20 minutes explaining just the title. So I must make sure you got it.
Excuse me. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, and this is my understanding. Everyone that comes into this life, or anyone that turns up in this life, has something he's here to achieve. And that is his purpose, that is his life goals, that is the only thing he's been created to achieve. Every other thing else is secondary. Even that life which that person is living is secondary.
Aha, beautiful. If you got that, because yesterday Alan spoke about being successful and then messing up your life. That's because he's seeing his life as the most important thing. He's not noticing or not knowing that there is something that is missing in his life which was supposed to be even more important than his life. So if you don't have that thing that is missing, then you end up living your life for yourself. And then that's the beginning of destruction. Self-destruction. Even if you never drink or smoke or use any abuse. You still self-destruct because you'll be living that life for your family, for example. You will still self-destruct because you'll be living that life for your children, for example. Or you will go and sell it out for Uncle Sam, making money. You are dead. You kill yourself. And the reason is because you didn't find that thing that is even more important than the life itself. Because your life is just a means to an end. That's why you die.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Go ahead.
All right. So everyone
Mention that topic again.
Yeah. How to organize your life around your goals. The goal, your life goal, is your life mission, is the reason why you even turned up on this life in the first place.
Good.
The life which you are living is the avenue, the raw material, the secondary thing that makes you able to achieve those life goals. And the skill with which you will achieve those goals is the organization.
So what you are saying is that your life itself is the fuel.
Is the fuel.
That you use.
Is the medium.
Is the motor.
Yeah.
Is the engine that needs to power that life goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the skills that you need
is the organization.
Is the organization to be able to make sure that your life is servicing that purpose for which you are
created. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well said. So I want all of you to think on that. Think about that. And some of us have already gotten that wrong anyway. Either because we are not told, we are not aware. So if you are not aware of this simple fact, then you will be living for your family. Let's look at what Paul told us about. That she thought she was going to live with her husband for the rest of her life. But life happens. But if your life is already set up this way, you don't really care. But if you have this missing and your life was not set up this way, it will be tragic. It will be catastrophic, actually. That's when a son or a child dies, for a lot of people, it's catastrophic. Because they were living for those things. Life for them is the essence of life. Life itself is the essence of life. They don't have that which is more important than life itself.
This is why Paul said, this
Sorry,
life...
you have to start again.
Okay, yeah. I was saying this is why Paul said, I can't remember the scripture now, this life I now live, I live for.
The Son
I
of
live it
God.
for.
That's way for something.
Yeah.
For the Son of God,
Yeah.
who died for me, who loved me so much, and died for me, and gave his life for me. Life must be lived for something. But if you don't have that for what, then you are living just for life for itself. So a lot of things will happen when you will be putting a lot of things to replace that for. A lot of things will be taking the place of the God original intention. And it is that God original intention that even brought you here in the first place. Why you are even molded, created, packaged in the first place. So instead of you living for that which is God's original purpose of you being here, since you need to live for something, you begin to look for alternatives and finding things to fill it for. So some people it will be alcohol or drinking or whatever. Some people it will be family, some people it will be religion, some people it will be children, some people it will be promiscuity, some people it is work. So this topic is not as easy as you're looking at it. It's not as simple as you look at it. It's deep. And I think we have to write a book about it. But only I was not in a hurry to do that because I'm afraid, I'm concerned of writing a book that people will not value. Well, you will value it because you now know what we're talking about. Okay, let's go now.
What is Harvard? Harvard is the leading university in the world, perhaps the most prestigious of all. To be able to study there, you need not only to pay $200,000 in 1 year, but also to withstand the competition from 200 to 2,000 people in place.
For a place, for a spot. That's what we're trying to say. Like it's a stiff competition. It's a, like about 2,000 people are vying for one place. So you really need to become, unless you pay your way, but you have to have a lot of money to pay for it. So all of us know what Harvard is, prestigious, okay.
Harvard is not a joke. This is a university that takes the best of the best, overachieving students or graduates from other institutions who have already proved themselves to be good at something. Harvard is a serious university, a source of manpower for the ruling elite.
Yeah, because graduates from there and Yale, two of them, and all from Oxford and what was the other one? Cambridge, they rule the world. They call them Ivy Leagues, right? Okay, so let's go.
Harvard is a dream of every genius. 40% of all USA presidents and leaders, and not only the USA but also around the world, are graduates of this university. This study was made precisely amongst these people.
So there is a study that most of you must have come across, maybe not, but there is a study very well known. People talk about this study all the time, and so I'm referring to it because the study was conducted among the students of Harvard. So please don't forget to go get your coffee and your chocolate, including Anu as well. Okay. Because you've been waiting for this. I don't want you to go sleep on me.
A study among Harvard students, the program MBA 1979. The students were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future and made any plans to achieve them? Mark McCormack
said,
what you will not be taught at Harvard Business School.
Okay, that is this information, we got it from his book. And that's what so he is saying that because the answers to this question that was asked, even Harvard students didn't know the answer. Even Harvard students didn't know the answer. So these things, even you could go to Harvard and not even get to have the skill. So that's what he called his book, What You Will Not Be Taught in Harvard. Mm-hmm.
It is not enough to set a goal for life. If we have our life goal in mind, but do not develop plans for its gradual achievement, we are wasting our time.
So to achieve goals, that's why we are talking about the organizational skills, managerial skills. All these skills is about planning and organization. So if you don't plan things out, how to do it, if you just have a goal in your head and there are no planning, no organization, no structure in place, You are just a dreamer. Okay?
Which is more important, to set goals or develop a step-by-step plan to achieve the goals? The second part is much more important.
Okay, now, again, I'm going to, because right now there is a big thing going on in Nigeria, which is election. You remember yesterday I mentioned the fact that there is something that, as evil as these political parties in Nigeria are, PDP, especially APC, as evil as they are, or proposedly as evil as they are, that they are still better than a lot of our new generation parties and leaders are. Now, so I asked the question here right now, which is more important? And I gave the answer already. To have a goal, a life goal, or a goal, and not just life goal, but to just have a goal and a purpose, is that more important than to build a structure and a step-by-step program, plan to achieve that goal? Which is more important? From where we come from, most people think as long as you have the goal and the dream, God will do the rest. Or you will work hard. Just like we were talking about yesterday, I had the goal to do these things, I was working hard, but I was still failing. Can you imagine that after I said that thing yesterday, why I said that these evil parties are even better than, you know what people were writing in comments? Yeah, okay, you remember the comments? People were saying, so that means, so these people should go and win because of the organization. That's not the point. Forget about that right now. Because I was saying winning is the goal. So you've got to do something. Anyway, then they were saying, okay, even if they will not win, is the meaning the most important thing? You know, those are the kind of comments. That's my comment. They are not getting what I'm getting to, where I'm going. They just want to be right in their own eyes. They just want to be correct. But don't play with your life like that. You can play around with political parties, but if you play around with your life like that, you will live to regret it. But anyway, the point I'm making is, so when I say PDP is even better than Sowore and his team and the other people, because they don't have the foresight that those PDP people had. Why do they have it? I don't know. Either because they're educated or because they have been in the field for so long, they have the experience, or I don't know. But they have something that these people don't have. And when I spoke about structure, I even have one of my disciples that wrote it's my disciple, it's on our platform, because he disagreed with me. Because he disagreed with me, he went and wrote a whole article on and put it in the internet. Those who say structure, because of structure, they will not support the new generation leaders, they are wrong. And I disagree with them, and this is why. So he roll. I said, okay. You see, Jesus is very smart. He said a teacher, or whatever they say, a student, no matter how good he is, he will not be better than his teacher. When I read the thing, he was right. Ignorance. That article is a result of ignorance. Instead of him to say, okay, Pastor, let's explain what you mean.
Exactly. And learn.
But he can, because he's an ardent supporter of Sowore, and he's a fanatical supporter. So the fact that anything I say like that, it takes it personal. He doesn't know that I'm just trying to teach everybody lesson. I'm not even thinking about him. I'm just teaching because things that are happening are letting me know that our people are limited. They don't have this experience. Sowore himself doesn't have the experience. How can you just 1 year to vote? How can you just come up and say, even less than 1 year, and say, I want to run? And then you are just running up and down as if you are a rabbit. You are just going to kill yourself. or you are going to get disillusioned, and then many people are going to get disillusioned with you because they are going to put their resources in it, they are going to try their best, and then they are going to find out that it doesn't come to anything. Let me tell you something, and for those people who are doing politics, who are in politics and supporting all this new generation, look, charisma, gift, just like I discovered when I was starting the church. Charisma, gift, all that thing can only take you so far. In anything you want to do, in any endeavors, in any endeavor you want to engage yourself in, remember this. If you forget everything else I will say, don't forget this one. 75% of success is already written out plan. Finished product. You must have a finished product in organizational structure. So let me use another example. Like you want to build this house. If it's a house that is so complex, and I'm not talking about makeshift houses kind of, but if you want to build something like a car, a house, or a ship, or the 75% of the work is the architectural design. The finish, the sketch or the what?
Templates.
The drawing, template, architecture, the project. That is the most important thing. That is not just the most important. It's not just 50%, 75%. So the implementation, just to go and vote, to go and campaign, and all those things, is only 25%. So now, how do you want me to support somebody that I cannot see is 75%? And he's trying to put all energy for 25% that Penjab cannot make for the missing 75. It's just like saying you are praying and fasting that your house will be built. Even though you are fervent in that prayer and fasting. But that can never make for the missing 75. And those other people like PDP and APC that have the 75, they are more prepared than you. Even if you are smarter, even if you are wiser, even if you have greater purpose, greater intentions, greater aim, greater, you are purer, you are more holier. Those things will not give you, those things don't replace skills. So when I try to say this in simple terms to my own people, they think I am the one who is not consistent because I've not taught them that level of something yet. But after this, I hope they will listen. And there are ways, what they were supposed to have done is, before even announcing that you want to run, you've already covered the whole country with structure in place. So in every local government, every ward, everywhere, not just just registration or one person there. No, you already have such a network that by the time you announce like this, it will be like that. Buhari, everybody is putting down everywhere. It's like people are on drugs. That's what people are saying. Oh, but what does our Obama have? You are from Chicago. Who is from Illinois here? Obama worked as community organization. He was a specialist in organization. He was a specialist. He's skillful. That is his geniusity. In community organization, he was a genius in it. He had built network and infrastructure for years. And he had tested it and it had worked for him as a senator. Because there even was a time that he ran as a senator for the state, he lost. But he built it again, he perfected it until he worked and made him senator. Then he went and did it all over the nation before he announced. So by the time he announced, network was working for him. That is 75%. But when Showore tells them, he will say, what experience did Mayowa have? Mayowa, sorry. What experience did Obama have? Because I don't know, maybe he doesn't know, or he doesn't just tell them, or why.
They don't study that.
Yeah, they don't go that far. He will say what. So, but his followers are repeating the same thing. What experience did Obama have? But he became president. I'm just looking at them like this. Since you are not asking me, I no go talk. Since you think you know, make you enjoy what you know now. And then what Obama also did is that he took that experience of community organization where it was asked, he took it to internet and used it for money gathering for $10.
Yeah.
And he gathered more money than everybody ever gathered in history. Because he had set up the network on the internet as well.
I receive his email every day when he was campaigning.
You see?
Every day. For
You
5
see?
years support. And every week.
You see? That is called organization. That is what we call structure. He is not the one calling it structure. People are doing it. Now you understand what we know by structure. Now, you are in Germany, but they were writing you every day. And you are coming to your home and knocking. And you are wasting your time and your life, and you are saying, I don't care if I waste my vote. It's not about your vote alone. You are wasting your resources, you are wasting your life, you are wasting everything. But since you didn't ask me, I will keep quiet. And since people who think they already know, you can't do anything with them. Just let them go. Let them enjoy what they know. So when I said yesterday that PDP and people like that, there is something they know, and they're even better in some areas than these our new people. Somebody was telling me that, I was mistaken. How could I say that this one is better, that one is better? How can that one be better than this one? I said, even these ones these people you are all vouching for, you don't even know what will happen to them when they get to the place. Oh, wow. They have not been tested to that level yet. But at least, I will not even talk about that. But let me talk about what I know is missing. So I just said it in a very nice way the other time, that I can't see their structure. If you want to see I have been talking about going to Nigeria to change Nigeria. If you want to know, I will show you my structure. I'm not even going to do politics. But any one of you that is interested, maybe before we leave for this HMT, I will show you my plan. I have a plan of how to set Nigeria in place everywhere, local government, in every question you can imagine. In fact, anybody that sees that structure will think, are you going to run for that? What is happening? Who did this? People, there's no human being that have seen the structure that I've put together that have said they have seen anything like that before in their life. I'm not just waiting on God, though, or believing for miracle that I'm going to Nigeria and God will do it. Because 75% of success is the plan, the system that you build. Remember that. In anything you do, not 10%, 75% of success is the system. So we will come again with that question. What is more important for you to know the purpose, the goals that you want to attain, or to plan for it and build a structure for it? Let me tell you, to plan for it, build a structure for it, is much more important. A lot of people have goals, but those goals never really come to fruition because they don't know how to build structure for them. And I was looking at, I read the past, what was his name? Kingsley Moghalu. He was a little bit prepared, much more better, because he wrote a whole book on how he wants to rebuild Nigeria. And I read that book, but I see O's in every. At least I'm the one saying it. But at least he came up with a book. At least he got ready. He was preparing for it. But other guys, it is as they are campaigning that they are trying to come up with some things that, cash, they want to cash up. They are playing cash up on the move. And it is as they are going, they are changing projects. Okay, we need money for this, we need money for this. You are supposed to have thought of all that before you even step out. And my people are becoming fanatical for those kind of unprepared people. If you are so unprepared, I will not trust a nation into your hand. Because you're not even prepared for your own vision.
Yeah.
Talk less of for a nation. Okay, but the zeal is what our people want to see. We are people of emotions. As long as the emotion is there and the charisma is there, that's it. We lose our mind. And we don't want to listen to people who want to help us, because you are talking contrary. You must be an enemy. If you see the abuse I have because of these guys, people write all kind of things to me every day. Okay, you are smart, you are already wise, good for you, good for you. Well, you could have been helped. It's a pity you're not listening. So it's good to have goals. It's good to have purpose. And this is one thing, if most of you people will know Miles Monroe, he's a friend of mine. When he was here with me, he was always talking about purpose. So I challenged him one day and I said, Dr. Miles, you are talking about purpose, but you never really tell people how to go from here to there. You only talk about how to discover their purpose. Okay, people discover finish. So
Yeah, that was the missing link.
yeah. And, he said, maybe he will try to work on it, but maybe that's what he's calling. I think people have their own callings, So I think he gave what he had to do, he gave it out. But people need to know how to do these things, how to build structures, systems around their goals, their objectives, and their purposes. So, which is more important, to set goals or to develop a step-by-step plan to achieve the goals? The second part is much more important. Okay, sir. So let's go back to our notes. Yeah.
Example. Many believers are simply dreamers. They have great revelations or they pray that they will be prime ministers, lawyers, doctors, etc. But they do not have any results.
Sorry, I have somebody who has a revelation, who is a member of he's a pastor in one church in Nigeria. And he said even angel appeared to him that he was going to be the governor of his state. Heck. Hero.
I love that angel.
Eh?
I love the angel.
Yeah, he got a revelation. But his own was not just theory. Angel had to bring it. So, and I don't doubt, to me, when somebody said God said, you better agree. The better for you. But that angel appeared about 30 years ago. The only thing that has happened is that he's just getting older and older. And now he's so old he cannot even contest again. Because the thing is that I told him, have you joined any political party? He said, they're all corrupt. All political parties are corrupt. And for you to join them and be a contestant, what they call government aspirant, to be nominated, a candidate, that you have to do some covenant or some witchcraft agreements, and that because he's a Christian, he is so Christian that he cannot go into and join those political parties because things are diabolical, things are happening. Okay, I said, but environment is 50%. He said, God told me they will come and call me. The only problem with that is that nobody has called him for 30 years. Power, something that people fight for, something that people, give their life, die for evil. And you are nobody. You say people are going to call you. The people in Nigeria who are in Nigeria in the 90s, when this revival just started, there was a church they called Bethel, I think. Yeah. Bethel, Oduyemi or something they call it. Is it Oduyemi they call it? I think it's Oduyemi.
Yeah, I think it's Oduyemi.
Yeah, Oduyemi, yeah. In Lekki somewhere there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that church and that pastor, he used to talk. He's the one that started all this prophecy, that God, he will just give prophecy. He handpicked one person in his own.
My dad was in that meeting when he did.
Are you serious? Yeah. So your dad got there, but you never mentioned that.
It was just a one-off when I came back.
Yeah. So he went and picked somebody in his own church and said it is the Holy Ghost who showed him that Igbo guy was going to become the president of Nigeria. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You heard of the story?
Yeah, my dad told me.
The guy was every Sunday he would be saying, you are the president of Nigeria, no matter what type of Abasha and everything, nobody can stop it. He anointed him. He said nothing will happen. He said, what heaven and earth will pass away, this world will not pass away, because God has said it. That the guy waited, waited. They were just only being anointed every Sunday until the government came and the election came and passed. You know, Abiola, the guy never contested because he was waiting that they will call you. You are the one that will. The guy said, there, oh, Abiola won. Then when Abiola was not put in place, you see, it's because of you. They will come and call you. It's you they will call. Abiola will not be there. Abiola died. Even the man who put Abiola in prison died. Abacha died. They put another person. Democracy came. What was his name? Obasanjo won until the prophet himself died. And the guy became so, because he was a rich guy, the Igbo guy, he was waiting for president. He had lost his business. He became a pauper here in Nigeria. I spoke to him personally. He had to run away out of shame from Nigeria and became a refugee, somebody cleaning the toilet somewhere in Germany, in Europe here. Maybe not toilet, I'm just outraging. But he was just struggling and, like one of these hustlers here. And I think he even changed the name so that nobody would recognize that he was the one people were talking about.
Wonder City.
Huh?
It's Wonder City.
Wonder?
They used to call it Wonder City.
That's what they call the place. Wonder they happen there. You see, that's what our problem is. We like wonders, all those kind of things. Because you don't become president by prophecy. You don't become president by prayers. You want to tell me that Adebo didn't lay hands on Jonathan that time? If I have a photo, if you want, I can prove it to you. Not only Adebo lay hands, all of them, all over the country, they were laying hands. Even Oyedepo put him there and the church in the altar. And Jonathan became a preacher for that Sunday. But that didn't help too. Even all the witchcraft people, all the babalawos and the fan, everybody lay hand on the guy. Nothing helped. You don't win election by those things. So there are people right now who are telling me that Oshowore was going to win. In fact, a friend of mine who had given a prophecy for me before in England, and the prophecy happened the next day. He said they are going to seize your passport. Something. The next day they seized my passport. When I saw his video yesterday, that he said, well, God is already finished with Buhari, and that Showore is the person God has chosen. I said, this one you don't want to enter. His reputation don't ruin with that. The guy has collapsed his reputation. Finito is what. He went and put it in the internet, which expire. The guy just coming. You see, all those prophecies, by the time we over-inflate prophecies, spiritual stuff, and our importance, we just miss it. These things are technical stuff. They demand skills. And you are going to put your mouth there. Okay. Ignorance is a big thing. So all those people prophesy. I've seen 2 or 3 of those prophecies that show whether it's going to win. There is somebody, the person who is going to win the presidential election in Nigeria, the name starts with S. Somebody saw it too. They don't win now. Young guy, less than 50, S. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to our notes. Let's come and be going. I fell in love with that phrase, Nigerian phrase. It's a new word for me. I just learned it. I never knew they were saying things like that. I discovered it by reading the Nigerian Facebook page. Let me come and be going. Let me come and be going. Or our market. I'm just learning some Nigerian language now. I'm enjoying the process. And I want to try to learn some pitching by the time I get there. They really give you life. You laugh very well. So after the election, I will tell all the Showore guys our market. They will come with stories. So, no, we knew we didn't want to win. We didn't want to win. Of course. All the article lovers. Oh yeah, no, it was rigged. Of course. You always have a story. Okay, let's go back.
But they do not have.
No, let's start all over
Okay.
again.
Example: many believers are simply dreamers. They have great revelations.
Dreamers. Anytime you have a goal or you have a purpose or a vision without concrete structure, plans, that is a dream. You're only dreaming. So for me, all those Showore, all those guys that I invited and interviewed, because that's what I was looking for. I was looking for these kind of answers, but they were giving me dreams and ambition. They either have ambition or dreams. They're just dreamers, and people who just have ambition. Ambition and dreams is not enough. Even though people like Obama, you might say, oh, he had a dream, but he had more than a dream. You need 75% of the missing link, which is structure. Okay.
They have great revelations, or they pray that they will be prime ministers, lawyers, doctors. But they do not have any results because they did not create the process of gradual achievement of the goal. But without the goal, people just stay in their fantasies. These people continue to sit in the church in disappointment.
That's what happened to that guy, the Wonderland guy. Is it Wonderland, is it? Wonder City guy. The Wonder City guy, the guy was sitting there for like 10 years or so, maybe 5 years or 10 years, until he was expired. Okay?
You are given the chance and an opportunity. Even Harvard graduates who won the competition with 2,000 people in the place do not know certain things which Dr. Sunday teaches us.
Okay, I'm saying here is that, they competed. It has to be one person will win out of 2,000 competing for a sport, right? But then when they were asked this teaching that we are giving now, we are talk about when they did the research for them, they didn't even know it. Despite the fact that they won the one sport out of 2,000 contestants. And yet they didn't know because people are just surface, superficial. And thank God this man wrote this book and put this story in there. Okay?
Maybe you had no chance to study at Harvard or Cambridge, but if you're here, you are given opportunities. Start to value yourself in a new way. Chance and opportunity do not benefit everybody. Chance and opportunity benefit only those people who were looking for the chance or have realized that they have the opportunity. If a person does not recognize the chance, he will not be benefited by it.
So the reason why I'm using this, before I go, these are all prelude to my teaching now. And the reason I'm giving you this prelude is that I'm creating an analogy for you, a contrast. That this is the kind of thing that was conducted in Harvard, people who had a big opportunity, but they didn't even know this thing. So now that have the opportunity, value this teaching. It might be the difference maker for you.
Why is it important to appreciate what you are given? As soon as a person realizes that he is given a chance, he begins to see a chance, an opportunity. It makes his adrenaline rise. He wakes up and catches every word. He doesn't miss a minute, a moment. He is here and now.
When you know that, oh wow, so what these Harvard people didn't know, I could get to know it just by being here. It's an opportunity, it's a chance. So you want to take advantage of it. That's the thing I'm trying to create here. So let's go back to the study of what is the Harvard thing we're talking about? What is the question that was asked the Harvard people? Let's go find out.
A study among Harvard students, the program MBA 1979. The students were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future and made any plans to achieve them? During the study, it was found that 3% of the graduates had written goals and plans. 13% had a goal but had not recorded them. 84% had no specific goals at all.
Okay. Look, I want you to think about this. This is coming from the book of Mark Cormack. what you will not be taught at Harvard Business School. That's where we got it from. Okay, but what is that? Do you understand? Can anybody tell me what is the situation? What is the scenario here? Did anybody get it? What is the scenario? Can anyone use your word to tell me what we just read? Okay.
Okay, so from the book of McCormack, he was carrying out a survey, okay? And the survey asked students that have been admitted into Harvard, and what is this question? So he asked the students, have you set any clear written goals of your future and made any plans to achieve them? That's the question of the survey.
Clearly written out goals.
Clearly written out
Plans
goals.
to achieve them.
And then from the survey, this is the statistics they got. Of all the students that were asked, only 3% had goals that had been written down.
So with a system. So only 3% not just had the goal, but they written out system, plan, structure.
Yeah.
So it could be understandable why our Nigerian contestants also didn't bother about, because it's just human. It's very hard. It's a hard work.
Yeah.
Everybody just want to take the easier way, the easier road. Germany, the only reason why Germans are thriving is they are the best in this kind of thing. System, structure. You know, they might not even be the smartest people. Even in football, they put system, structure. You know, and Japanese, all those kind of people, they're the people who put system structure. But out of the Harvard students, they are the best of the best in the world, though. Selected, top. You know, best mind. But even they thought, because it's an illusion, we just think if I have the goal, I know what I want to achieve, so why? Or some of them have parents or money, or they had an idea of what they are going to come back, their business of their past, or their parents and things. So why should I write? I know what I want in life. Many people are living that illusion. Most of us, we think, well, if I know what I want, that I know what I want. As long as I know what I want, so we put faith more in our charisma, in our giftings, in our determinations, in our, temperament, in our self-assurance, in our faith, than things like system structure, and that is a big mistake. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So most of those people who declare for Nigerian presidential, they are like that too. I believe it. If they are Christian, they say God will do it. So other people say, I know, I'm sure. They have all kind of talk they can talk. But those are not the things that get you results.
No.
75% of the result comes thanks to well written out structure, plan, system, organization that you have put in place. So yes, 3%. You said what?
Yeah, so 3% of the graduates were the only ones out of all the students that were surveyed,
Out of 100%.
out of 100% that had clear written out goals, structures of how to achieve those goals.
Okay.
Now, 13% of those students, they had a goal. They had it maybe in their head. Maybe they even had it written down, but they had no
Structure
for achieving them at all. And then the majority, 84%, had nothing.
Even me, I never did this until I was 32 years old. But I still thank God that I was able to, I told you about all my struggles and processes to discover what was missing link in my life. So, and I wanted to, so that's my zeal that kept on me pushing. And by 31, 32, but I was, doing a lot of, because I didn't have one place where I could get taught or one book where I could read. So for me, it was a painful journey, long journey. But by 32, I'd written everything down, and you will see what I've written down now. I will show you later on. I will use it as an example for you, so that you can use that as a model to also get your own set in place for the next 25 years of your life. So again, tell us the out of 100%, what do we have?
Okay, so out of 100%, only 3% of graduates not only had a plan in their head, they had a structure written down of how to achieve those goals and plans.
In your own life, for example, are you in that 3%?
Not yet.
No. I was not for a long time. Okay.
Okay, now 13% of the 100%, they had a goal. They
Well,
probably had it in their head.
I tell you that for a long time too. I never even had a goal like that. That this is what my life I want to do. I had, immediate goals or, intermittent goals, but I never had a life goal. You understand what I'm trying to say? That for a long time I never had. Till 25 years I never had a goal like that. 27 years I never had. I was having goals of building a big church, big ministry, to serve God, be a minister, but those are just intermittent goals. But I didn't have a comprehensive global goal for my life. Around 30, I began to get that right. Then by 32, I was able to build a structure and a system for it. So, but even the smartest mind that I have couldn't do it. They didn't have it. See how many people didn't even have any specific goal.
84%.
84% didn't. So they are just like us. They're just human beings. They study well.
Yeah.
They are smart. They were able to pass. They were able to get admission there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't save you.
So I just want, I don't know if it's a question, because even among the 3%, because it's one thing for you to have a goal and just write it down. But how well
Many
is it written?
through the structure.
That's the challenge.
And we will not go there yet. We just assume that they got it right.
That's because that is
We
something
only
that I'm
assume,
struggling
yeah.
with too myself, so-
Because just to have that goal and write down, it will just be like 13%. It's in that level. It's in that dilemma. I like this, yes. And that is why it is only that 3% that is controlling the world. So the 13% are the managers and the executives that they put to manage their whole enterprises and their whole whatever they own, their assets and their estates, their empires.
84 is in
And
Uncle Sam.
The 84% are
Uncle
the
Sam.
Uncle Sam. They are the one working for salary. They are the fueling the system. Huh? They had no specific goal. Because they just want to make money or they want to survive. They want to have the meal on the table. Yes, yes, sir. Take the microphone before you speak.
Sorry. So that study was done in 1979. Which is
Yes.
That's what, nearly 40 years ago?
Right.
So obviously things must have changed since then, evolved since then.
If I know the nature of men, I will tell you that nothing much has changed. People are just people. People are just enjoying their lives. Most people are just enjoying their lives. This is just human nature right there. How people are. Okay, so let's see the result.
Ten years later,
So this is 10 years later. So let's bring it to 99. 10 years later. 89.
the results were shocking but predictable. 13% of students who had goals were earning on average 2 times more than 84% who had no goals at all.
So that was the middle part. They had goals at least. They didn't have structure, but they were better than the 84% that didn't have goals. Just know that they want to. Because why is it that the 84% didn't have any goals? I will tell you why. Their goal was to get to Harvard. Then when they finish, their goal will be to get a job. But you know, all that is still not life goals. Because first of all, their goal will be to get to Harvard. Then the second will be to do well, get good degree. Then most of them will believe that, and this is what normally happens. When you get out of Harvard, you will be proposed a job. You will get a job. And that's why they didn't have a goal. But what they don't know is that they will be employed by the 3%. And if they are extremely good, they are in the 13%, they will be the managers. But it's still rat race from there on. For the rest of their lives. Rat race. So that's why this HMT is hyper important. And I'm so surprised that not too many people got it or saw the need to come for it. Those who wanted it most.
I think a lot of people just assume that from the title they already know what you want to talk about because they read motivational books and those kind of stuff. But
they already know.
Yeah, they think they already know.
Self-assurance. So let's keep on going. So 13%.
13% of students who had goals were earning on average 2 times more than 84% who had no goals at all. 3% of students who had clear written goals were earning on average 10 times more than the other 97% combined.
Because they were the owners. They were the business owner. They were the people, they were the movers and shakers. They were the ones in charge. Because what they wrote, what they saw, they were able to create. They had a system to create, to make things. But this other one will be hoping and believing God as they go. But you see, it doesn't know, and there is nowhere where it is written there that even though that 3%, that they got exactly what they wrote down. Because that is not the purpose of plans or structure. You might not really get exactly what you had written down because you are not God. And that is why a lot of people don't do plans, don't make plans. Because they say, no, I make plans, I wrote them, but who knows? You know? But the whole idea of plans and system and structure is that at least you have a direction to move in. And then you have something to strive for. And at least you have like a compass that is directing your path. So you might not really eat it right on the bull's eye dot like that, but at least you will eat the body. At least you will be somewhere there, or even better than what you had projected. So the whole idea of plans is not for you to get ... what you want, but at least you will not be lost. But when you don't have plans, you start out going this way. When you don't have plans, you don't even know when you have gone around and you have gone back to the other side. Because events will be dictating things for you. Somebody will give you a call and say, oh, can you I have this opportunity for you, and you just follow. Because you don't have your own trajectory. You know, then you have a good salary. Somebody will propose for you and you just follow. Because that is what happens in life when you don't have a plan. You follow and go for the salary. Or somebody will say, oh, you can get a visa to travel abroad. Or say, I can travel abroad, green visa, green passport, or green card. You just go for the green card. Because you don't have your own anchor that is already spelled out what your life trajectory is going to be like. So that's what happens, what plan is and structure is. It will save you from in eventualities that you didn't plan for, that life and situation would like to plan for you. Eventualities like this. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I want to say, even if you fail with the plans,
it
will make you to recognize that you have failed because you have a plan.
Beautiful.
Ahead. But if you don't have any plan, you don't even know whether you fail.
You fail or pass. When you have that plan, even when you fail, you know exactly why you failed, what made you come short, and then you know what to do to, So, because I know a lot of people who argue that most of the people who do plan, who knows if the plan will ever come to pass. No, it's not about plan coming to pass. It's about you getting your life together and going in the right direction that your life was supposed to be going in. For example, if you don't have a life goal and the purpose for which God created you here, You know, marriage will be a big thing for you. And you don't know that marriage is the distraction for most people in the world. Or children will be a big deal for you. Can you imagine that some people are using their life to chase after having children? Because they don't have a life goal anymore. They don't have any other goal. So situations of life, oh, I married, I couldn't give back, will now become, it will now define your goals for you. So now your life goal now is to have children. Oh, I'm 35, I'm not yet. Oh, your life goal now becomes to try to get married. Because you didn't have a trajectory, nothing is, you didn't have a compass that's supposed to be leading you where you are supposed to go to. I've been invited to get your US passport, but I needed to stay there for 2 years or something, or some years, and leave my thing and leave the life purpose that already I said, okay, even though I would have liked to, but I would not exchange what I already know to be what God wants me to. Right now, as I'm here, I have offers to move to different places because they know I want to leave Ukraine. But I don't want to leave Ukraine because I want to leave. I want to move somewhere. I'm leaving to Nigeria. And people are thinking I'm mad. Nigeria, go to somewhere else now. You see, more than people are running away from Nigeria. You see, for me there is even no question. It's Nigeria for sure. Why? Because life trajectory is there. But other people who don't have that, opportunities will be dictating their life trajectory for them. Greener pasture. Greener pasture will be dictating their life direction and projecting to them. If you go to my country today and you tell people, okay, let me show you your life trajectory or green card. People will forget about trajectory. Let that trajectory wait. British passport. When I come, when I come back. They say you can talk because you have been there. Okay, let's go. So you got the idea. Let's write. So okay, let me ask you rather. So what happened to people who didn't write anything down? Who didn't know? The 84% who didn't know what their life goals is. They're just studying at Harvard. They hope they will finish. They will get a good job. What happened to them?
They worked for the 3%.
Okay, go ahead.
They worked for the 3%.
Okay.
That had life.
Any other person want to say?
Yeah, they're locked up in Uncle Sam's system.
Give to her. You've got to speak to the microphone.
Yeah, the 84%.
84%.
Are locked up in Uncle Sam's system.
Definitely. Because that is the only thing most people know. Get a job. Their dream is to get a good job. Most people go to any university in the world up to today. Their dream is to get a high-paying job. That's their goal. What else do you want? Then what happened to the 13% that actually had the goal, but maybe didn't have a structure and a system for it? Who wants to tell us what happened to the 13%? Yes. Is there?
Yeah, you probably became manager or
Yes.
yeah, supervisor.
But at least they had a better position
Yes.
than the 84%. But they also earn more money. Because when you are the manager or the bank director, you have more money than the workers. But what happened is that let's say how many more times do those 13% earn more money than the 84%?
2 times.
Yes, they were having income better, 2 times better than their own classmates. But they got better jobs
Just because of goals.
because of goals. because they were striving. And because of that, they probably studied better, they probably looked for something. That goal made them to do something better. So they get better opportunities in life. They were earning more money. But this is business school. They are gauging everything by money. But, it's more than money, really. It's about the Uncle Sam, the system, and the captivity, the art, the pain, the confusion, the darkness, the lack of satisfaction, all those things. But at least but most people in the world, they use money as their, stake. Yeah, you wanted to say something, yes.
The 3%,
Yes,
because they are the mover and shaker,
yes,
and the one that formed the system.
yes.
So they already made the system ready for
Yes.
the 84%.
They create the
that
structure
they will
already.
never get out of it.
Yes.
And they start doing the rat race.
Rat race. They are the ones who create the system. But they, because they own the whole thing, they now earn like 10 times more than not just group 1 or group 2. Both of them put together. Because they build the systems. If you're able to build system for your life, then you can build system for anything. Like the Bill Gates, the Mark Zuckerbergs, they are just people who build systems. And to build system, you've got to write down, you've got to design, you've got to.
So, just to go, could it be that this is something like this that people like Bill Gates and all the Harvard dropout
Yes.
discovered
And they don't have
and
any reason
decided
to be in
because
school
maybe
anymore.
they've written their plan and discovered
Yeah.
that Harvard is not going
They
to
will not
actually
be-
help
yeah.
them achieve it.
You
so
got
why
it.
waste time there?
Brilliant, brilliant.
And
Because they already built a system that
System
is
for
even bigger
themselves.
than Howard itself. If you can discover that ability to be able to structure your life, build a system for what you want, for the goal you want, that's it. Every other thing will work for you. Even Howard will work for you. This is what I wanted from people like Showore, or people like Mogalu, all those people. And we have to introduce it to Nigeria. This is how we're supposed to get to be able to learn. But what is happening to my people in Nigeria is that they just go to schools. They go and give exams, pass exams. But we must be practical with life. Now, I finished with introduction. All this I've done so far is introduction. So I'm going to stop and take a break. You all need to go outside and take fresh air because you need it for your brain. Because before we go for the next one, I bet you need that fresh air. So we are going to take, this is part 1 or whatever you say, second day, whatever part. Can you write Nada Dapisat, part 1 or something? The same topic but part 1. In Facebook, YouTube, in Vetom, some show any purpose that. So we are going to Manguza Conchitoje. Okay, Pastor, we are still live. Let Pastor Dr. Anu dismiss us. But I think we need that break. And I think there are the candies there and the coffee and everything. Yes, okay, I think we'll come back in the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes? 10. Okay, the next 10 minutes. Okay, yes, Pastor.
All right, so thank you so much, our friends. We want to take a 10-minute break. So please, you also can do that in your rooms. Okay,
yeah,
I'm not so
you
clear,
come.
right?
Oh, go back, so that you can be visible.
Back. Am I good?
Yeah, you are good.
All right, great. So please, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Go drink a coffee. You could also walk out from your house. While we do that here, we'll see you in 10 minutes. All right. So please share if you've not. Bye. See you.